So I want to talk about the Alien Astronaut Theory and the way this theory shows up in a myriad of different ways, but really all leads back to a origin story and links all of these stories and legends to one race, one extraterrestrial race that fell from the stars, that fell from the heavens into matter within this time world on a quest to restore all that was lost, right? Because people separate these stories, these legends, because these beings have appeared in many different cultures throughout the ages, throughout the rounds. Whether we're talking about the Tuatha De Danann of the Celtic mythos, the Viracochas of the South American region, the Anunnaki in the Bible, the Nephilim, right? These all signal an origin story of a race that has shown up in many different time cycles throughout the ages. But although they go by different names throughout these ages, they all share a same origin story, right? They all derive from the same race. And we see this origin story through the mythos of Lucifer, right? Because in the mythology of Lucifer, we see a divinity that fell from the heavens into matter. You know, Lucifer's story gets convoluted through Christian dogma, right? They paint him as Satan who was expelled from heaven due to his pride, when the Venusian truth is that Lucifer was a divinity that fell into matter on a hero's quest to save his beloved, right? And this all traces back to the original tragedy, that which is the Orphic partition, when the Hyperborean androgyne split, divided, right? When the he-she separated. This was the original catastrophe. This was the original tragedy, that which led us into committing the original sin. Which is when the gods mixed with the daughters of men, right? Trapping us into this satanic age, trapping us into this realm of duality where the he and she are seemingly separated indefinitely, right? So the whole quest, the whole mission of Lucifer is to reintegrate his she, right? In an attempt to give God a face, in an attempt to save all that was lost due to that original tragedy, due to that partition of the Orphic egg, right? And so anytime you hear an alien astronaut theory, know that it is Luciferian, it is Venusian. What needs to be cleared up in this timeline is the convolution in regards to Lucifer's mythos, that he is to be an archetype that is synonymous with Satan is a mistruth. It is a convoluted lie that has been curated by Christian dogma to prevent Aryans from discovering their origin story. To tap into the truth of this archetype, Lucifer, is to tap into the truth of you and the story that you share, as you are an extension of this extraterrestrial racial consciousness. That is Luciferic, that is Venusian, that is Hyperborean, that is Aryan. The demiurge, right? The termite being, the anti-race, the anti-seed, knows that when the Aryan, when the Hyperborean, when the Luciferian remembers, right, through the memory coded within his astral blood, that they can no longer be controlled, right? Because they are a divinity in matter. They are a divinity within this time world, within this mechanistic system that aims to control, that aims to put you on your knees, to live a life of obedience to a system that has never been home to the Venusian, right? We have always been exiles here. And, you know, the anti-race, the anti-seed, this beast system aims to keep the he, she separated, keep all things divided, because they know when the he, she unify, right, magic ensues here on this earthly plane, right? We summon the real force, the ether force, and then paradise lost is paradise found. And so memory, Minne, right? Miguel Serrano says, Minne is both memory and love. That's what that word denotes. And it's really a memory of the love lost. We are on a quest to save the beloved, to restore all that was lost due to the original Hyperborean tragedy, that which was the Orphic partition, right? The division of the cosmic egg, the division of the he, she, right? And so you can totally see why the confusion of the sexes, the gender bending, all of these perversions of sexuality are taking root in the world, on the world stage. And that is to prevent this love story from actualizing. That is to prevent the he, she from reharmonizing. Because as I said, when the Hyperborean he and she reharmonize, we summon Vril. We summon the ether force. We restore the paradise lost. The alchemy, the Hyperborean alchemy of the reharmonization of he and she is being facilitated through the Black Sun prophecy. Our Ilu sun, our fallen sun is rising, and this is reorienting the Hyperborean back to the point of origin, which is Venusian, right? And again, that's where all of these ancient alien astronaut theories come into play, right? They all reveal a common thread, and that is the golden thread that weaves and binds together all beings of this extraterrestrial race to one heart, to one destiny. And that is to restore the love lost and resurge the lost paradisia. This is a living prophecy that we are intimately connected to as Aryans, as Venusians, as Luciferians, as Hyperboreans. Remember, all synonymous. It has been said that memory is the only paradise from which we can never be expelled. And that is why I say that memory is the highest form of weaponry that the Aryan can use to defeat the enemy. They don't want you to remember the Venusian origin. They don't want you to connect the dots when speaking to ancient alien astronaut theories and, right, the new age starseed theories. Because if we weave together all of these themes in a higher awareness from an eagle perspective, we will see how it all synchronizes to one truth, one Venusian truth that reorients us back to the origin. The Venusian Minne is Orphic and extraterrestrial. right? They say that the Minne singers were the poets, the troubadours that sang beautiful ballads of this ancient love, right? Of the he and she. And this poetry ignites the Minne, ignites the memory of this love lost, of this Orphic origin, right? This is the root, this is the core of the Hyperborean race, and that which we aim to reinstate here within this time world where we have been trapped and enslaved. And so our very victory is this polar solar alchemy, is the reharmonization of the Hyperborean he and she, right? This is a Venusian love story, right? The black sun prophecy, that which I like to call the Ilu sun because it's really purple in its highest hue. It's the embodiment of all everything, right? And this is why when you take 2 sig runes, right? One represents the solar force of he, and one represents the solar force of she. And when they are reharmonized, right, these 2 sig runes, the he and she, create the odal force, that which is vril, that which is ether, that which is the source and force of all everything. And this odal force is the coming of Christ. It is the Christ light, right? And the true Christianity, right? Which is Luciferic, which is Venusian. Everything in this artificial overlay has been a counterfeit of this Venusian love story that has been watered down, that has been convoluted, that has been perverted with a means, with an objective to enslave the pilgrim of nostalgia, the pilgrim of this Aryan journey. And so every time you see the Jesus fish, I want you to remember through the Minne, through the memory source within your astral blood, that this symbol is to actually represent the Odinic force that comes from the reharmonization of the Hyperborean he and the Hyperborean she. That which is the polar solar alchemy that restores the lost totality, right? That summons the real force, the ether force, the only force that can restore the lost paradisia, right? This is the alchemy that ensures an Aryan victory. And so yeah, anytime you hear someone convey a message about alien astronauts, they're talking about Venusians. Anytime you hear people speak about the concept of starseeds, they're talking about Venusians. They're talking about the Nordic extraterrestrial race that descended into matter that has been archived in scripts of antiquity from times past to present day. And the truth of it has been so convoluted because the whole objective in this world of matter is to prevent you from remembering the origin, your origin, which is your only means to achieving soul sovereignty and victory.